Hi, Janet Beckers here. Well, I have a very unusual podcast for you today. So if you're listening to this, I really recommend that you go over to the podcast page to watch the video, because what I do here is I am sharing with you the recordings of a live class that I did where I walk you through step by step an actual case study of a real client where we created the one-page 90-day business plan document for them. So you'll see exactly what is possible for a really typical scenario of a client. And this is a client that could, even though this was before COVID, this is exactly the kind of thing that a lot of people are facing at the moment, where she was doing one-on-one, but wanted to be able to make it so she could be doing more group programs and to be able to do more things online. And so I walk you through exactly not just how to break down into 30-day segments the exact steps that are necessary in order to, first of all, design a program that will sell, to be able to price it knowing what your break even and your profit is, to be able to then be able to create sales material very quickly without needing anything technical, to be able to make those sales, to be able to work out how many sales you needed to be able to make your profit, and importantly, how to celebrate. So not only measure if you've been successful, but how do you celebrate when you hit your goals? And then also the next step of being able to set everything up so that she has a way of building an email list so that in her next 90-day period, she can focus on bringing in new clients. So, and I share, it's an example of a real client. I share what goals that she actually got through and exactly how it works. And I also share with you resources that we were able to use to make it so she could get that traction faster. So this is a really good one for you to actually watch through video. So if you're here watching audio, you will still absolutely be able to get great value, but I do really recommend that you go and watch it there, because that way you'll be able to see what kind of resources are going to make it faster for you, and you'll be able to see exactly what a working one-page business plan document looks like. Okay, go get them, and if you would like a copy of the template that I'm using there, you will find that on the same page as well. So you can download that template, use it in your own business. It's the exact same one that I use in my business. And it's the same one that I use with my Accelerator clients, that we use to make sure that they stay on track and get their stuff done. And so we both know ahead what resources they need from me and what help, and accountability. And it's also something that in my Attract Your Tribe course, my coaching program that will be launching in a couple of months, we also have those access in there as well. So there you go. So I recommend that you go over there. Really importantly, I'd love to hear from you. Like, have you actually used the plan? Have you taken the time to actually work out exactly what your number one focus is? I'd love to hear from you. Let me know any ahas that you've got, and if you have a friend in business that you know will really benefit from this, and then in fact you may want to get together with them and you know, brainstorm together. It's a great thing to do to create your plans. Share it with them, please, and let them know. And let's see if we can end 2020 on a total bang, because it's time, you know, you can take control of what's been happening in your own business, and we can actually end up making 2020 your best year yet against the odds. Okay, have fun. Bye. So today I'm going to walk you through the exact tool that I use in my business every 3 months. And it's also the exact tool that I use with my Accelerator clients. We dive in deep, we do this together, and then we use that as the plan that they're going to be sticking to for the next 90 days so that they don't go off track, and so that I can keep them accountable, and so that we know beforehand what resources they're going to need in order to be able to make things happen. And when we do this, it means that, wow, you know, you can just get so much more done than they could possibly have got done previously. And because we do it together, it means that I know exactly what sorts of things they're going to need me to give them feedback on, and what things that I can tell them, don't waste your time on these. So this is the tool that I use. So hopefully you will be able to see this quite well. So this is a little bit of a test for me. I have used Facebook Live, of course, numerous times, and also used Zoom numerous times, and I have combined them together. But normally what happens is our connection is so poor because the internet where I live is just crazy. So it's never been reliable before, because as soon as I start sharing, it uses a lot of bandwidth. But we've just got a 5G modem in our home, and it's just boom, increased our speed. So fingers crossed, this is going to work really well. So if you join me live, just type in any questions that you've got. If you're here and you're watching the recording, that's okay as well. Just type in your questions, because I will get a notification and I'll be able to come and help you. Now, what I'm going to be doing is using my 1-page 90-day plan. So it's the 1-page business plan, so that you don't get distracted. You've got it there in front of you all of the time. So of course, there's numerous things that go into working out what's going to go into the plan. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you what the template looks like. I'll show you the one that I've filled in as an example, and then I'm going to go through and give you an idea of how we would do that. So let's get started. So if you would like a copy of this template, just put down below saying template please, and then I will be able to send you a private message that's got the link to where you can get it. So if you would like that, just go and do that. And I've also got a podcast that I've got on the website that goes into all of the reasons about why this works, how it works, what you need to have included. Today is so that you've got a bit more detail. So I've got that extra resource for you as well. All right, so you should be able to see here the 1-page summary. So hopefully I can see at the moment, hey Stephanie, it's good to see you. I can see at the moment, you can still see my Excel one. I'll show you to that in a moment. That's what we use to calculate your break-even points with your programs. Hopefully you can see the Word document. So let me make sure that if you can see the Word document now, that would be great. If there's a little bit of a delay, here we go. Now I can see that you can see it. Awesome. Okay, so this is the 1-page plan. So I'm just going to walk you through what is included in there, and then we're going to go through and I'll give you an example, because I just find the easiest way to be able to do these things is to actually work through a case study. So that's what I'll do. I'll work you through a case study of a client that I worked with, and I'll show you how we worked out what we did. All right, so if you can see this properly in the 90-day, let me see if I can zoom this up for you. First of all, we're going to look at the time period. So we just put what those months are going to be. So we would do the last 3 months of this year. The major goal, what's the big thing that you really want to achieve that's going to move your business to the next level? And then very often there'll be a secondary goal as well. Now, what we're going to be doing is, this is the summary sheet, but this is fantastic. I actually take a screen grab of this. We've actually had a nice graphic that we make up for our clients to use, so that you can actually it's in Canva, and that way you can actually have something that's attractive to look at. But and I use that myself, and I actually save it as a screensaver on my computer, and I put it on my phone, so that I've always got a reminder of what my focus is. So that's why I like to bring it down to a 1-pager, and I also have it printed out, because I'm very much a paper type person, even though I rarely use it. So we're going to have here, you'll need to know what your goal is for that month. What are the action steps that you must take? These sound really obvious, but as I'll read you through the example, you'll see why this is so important. The actions that you need to take to achieve that specific goal, because if we've got a 90-day plan, we're now going to move it down into 3 lots of 30. That's how we get this stuff done. Because once you've got it down into the 30, then you've really got to focus down, okay, what have I got to get down? Divide that into 4. I know what I've got to do this week. So it saves you that kind of sometimes putting things off, because you think, I've got ages till I've set myself to goal to get that done. And then you leave yourself too little. And it also saves you that of, oh, look, I've got my to-do. What should I be doing? I've got this and this and this, all these priorities. You can come back down to what's in the plan. In fact, that's probably the thing that my Accelerator clients hear the most from me is that in the plan? What's in the plan? is that in the plan for this month or next month? Is it in the plan? Okay. And I know if it is because they send me a copy of every single one so I can hold them accountable. So those action steps are really, really important. How do you know you succeeded? And this is where a lot of people go wrong. I use good, better, best goals. I actually go into a bit more detail on that in the podcast that I've got that accompanies this, but I'll also show you an example. And people often get that wrong, and because they're measuring the wrong thing, and then they start to feel like failures because they were putting a measure on something that their actions had no direct input into. And then we're going to look at how we're going to celebrate, because hey, as entrepreneurs, that's often the thing that we forget to do the most. We move on to the next thing. So we actually bake in celebration. So this is what we're going to be using. I'm going to walk you through this. Today is total giving you an example. I want you to be able to take action. Okay. So I'm really curious to hear from you. Do you use something similar for yourself in your business now? So tell me down below, do you use something like this in your business as it is? And if you do, what's the things that you've found from your experience from actually using a 90-day plan? And maybe some of the challenges that you've got, because, hey, I'm using this exact tool in my own business, and I know that there are challenges that come with this. Discipline would be the number one. And also making sure that it is realistic. So that's where it really helps. If you're going down the track of doing something new that you haven't done before, you may not be able to really tell what is realistic to do in that time. So that's one of the things that I do with my accelerators to start with, is we work out exactly how much time do you have available to do this, because every person has different demands. We look for things that are going to free up their time and their energy. And then we look in, okay, this is the actual reality check of how much time you do have available to do on this. And okay, in my experience, this is how long it's going to take you. And this is what I can do to make it faster. So yeah, one of those big things is either overestimating how long it takes or underestimating because you have no idea. And also not really being super duper clear on the reality check of how much time you have. Because most of the people who I work with at my accelerator level, they're busy. They're either already got very successful and busy offline businesses that they're trying to get online. They haven't got much time. That's a really typical person of who I work with. And also there'll be people that, they've got kids at home, or they may be carers for somebody else. So their actual reality time of what time they've got is much smaller. So again, they're really time poor. So you need to have that reality check. All right, now let's move over, and I'm going to share you an example of one that I have already got. So we'll go back over here, and let me see if you can see this one. Okay, nope, let me just I'll stop that share and I'll go and find out why I can't see this one here. Okay. I've got 3 screens happening here, and I've got a lot of documents that I've got open that I want to be able to share with you because it makes it so much faster. Okay, here is one that I prepared earlier. Okay. So let me know if this is making sense. I'm also really curious to hear from you how the quality is going, because I'm just really trialing out my new technology, or my new Wi-Fi, to see if it actually works well enough. I've got this open for me at the moment as well. So I can sort of see it's still a little bit pixelated, which is a bit disappointing. Honestly, isn't Wi-Fi the hardest part? So if you have any questions as I'm going through this, just let me know, my darlings. Okay, so now you've got the 90-day planning summary open there in front of you. So this is an example of one that is actually working with a client that I have worked with. So what we've got here is a client that they very much were doing more one-on-one. So this was a service provider I don't want to give too many hits on exactly what they were doing, because I don't want to share, you don't want to keep their privacy, but they were somebody who works she's a healer, works with a lot of counseling, hypnotherapy, sort of the kind of stuff that you do a lot with people one-on-one. Didn't think that she would be able to move over into any type of online program, but we were able to work out exactly how she could do that. So she's gone from working one-on-one with people, and we want to be able to leverage it and start getting ready to create online resources so that she can eventually do a course. But we don't have to go straight with the course. We're going to go first of all where she wants to be able to design some new packages so she's no longer selling her time. She wants to create packages so that she can sell 3 to 6 months worth of her time in one go, but at the same time be able to bring in groups and to be able to create resources which will then be able to then be sold as online courses. So this is like the nice, it's a really logical thing for somebody who is a professional at what they're doing to be able to build an online course, but to be able to then say, you know, with integrity, I know you going through these resources that I've created is going to get you the results, because look who I've already taken through and they've got that. So this is one of the first things that we were doing with her is, okay, let's now create some new programs for you so that you can start selling them now. We don't want to have to wait until you've got this whole online course stuff happening. We don't want to worry about the technology. We just want to get it out there, start you making some money and free up your time. This is a really timely example for now, because there's going to be a lot of people who were working one-on-one where they can't do it so much now because their clients just are not confident to be able to come out and to be, you know, meeting in person. Okay, so for this particular client, that's going to be, we want to get her some new offers done, we want to make some sales, and then we want to be able to build up some kind of automation so that she's got a mailing list so that we can keep on selling to new people. Okay, so this is what we're going to be working towards in this one. So I'll walk you through this and then I'll give you some examples on what to do. So if we've worked out, okay, she's going to be having new offers, she's going to be selling them and have some automation done up. That's a lot to get done in 3 months when somebody is still already working, okay? So we've broken that down into 3 bits. So in the first month, we've got here, you know what, she's going to get the packages designed and priced. Yeah, she could very well get out there and start selling them already, but I already knew at this case that she had a lot of other stuff that was happening at the time. And we wanted to make sure that this was done well. So we've gone, okay, at the end of the first month, we're going to have your packages all designed. You've got your pricing, you know exactly what you're offering, and you know people want it. That's the important part. In the second month, so over here, we're going to make it that, okay, she's going to be able to sell it to her existing clients. So we're going to look at what can we do that's going to make it the shortest path for her to be able to have sales materials, have a sales process, and actually make those sales. So we're going to simplify it. What's the simplest way we can do that to get the cash in the bank? So that's going to be the second month. So week 5 to 8. And then the last part is we're going to go, all right, now we've got those sales. Now let's set it up so that we can start bringing in new clients without me having to do as much of the stuff that I was doing in that second month to get those first sales. So what can we do to be able to get new people? So we're going to set those up. So we're going to look there at preparing everything ready so that she can focus on list building from then on in. All right, so now let me walk you through some ways that you can do that. If you've got any questions at all, just let me know. And I shall go and share some other things here with you. So hopefully you can see me over there in that corner, okay. All right, so now let's look at this first one. All right, so you can see here that we've got, you know, new packages designed. So her activities are going to be, she's going to interview her clients, her existing ones and her past ones, to really, really get clear on their frustrations and their goals. We're going to draft some packages. So we're going to do the costing and then we're going to decide the pricing. Okay, so let's have a look at it. That's quite a bit to do. So let's have a look at what she would do. I'll just go and share something new instead. Okay, so for example, when it comes to surveying your clients, a lot of times it's just so much easier just to interview them. You know, get on the phone and actually talk to them rather than trying to run a survey where you'll get enough people to go through it. A lot of times people will do a survey and think that's going to be the easiest thing. A lot of times you just get on the phone. You know, you have less clients that you need to be able to do that with. If you can do, say, between 15 and 20 of these, you're going to have a really, really good insight. So to make it easier for people, I've already got here, you know, the script that you use, you know, and the questions that you need to be asking. So this just makes it easier. So they've got this guide here in front of them, and that way they know what questions to do. And I've also got the steps there on how do you actually get the interviews, like how do you approach them? How do you do that? Because that's going to make it so much faster for you. Now, the next thing that once you do that is we actually plug it into what I call the profitable avatar quadrant, and it's quite a unique system for us to be able to work out. Most people will fall into 4 different categories once you've worked out all of your you've taken that time to get the insight into what your clients are really wanting. They'll very often fall into 4 different groups. Now, not all of those are going to be the most profitable for you, so I've got a system that we use to be able to work out what is the most profitable. It's quite a unique process, incredibly powerful, because it means that you're going to be taking that time to make sure that all of the language, your sales material, your program is designed for the people who are most motivated to spend the money to get the result. And so the information that you've taken from doing that research, we plug into this. So you can see that was the first part where we had about doing the surveys. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work out the packaging. So we look at how do you actually create something that you can then trademark later, because I'm all into you building an asset. So, you know, we'll look at the actual steps that you take people to. So we're actually going to design the program that you've got, the packages. I'm just going to show you these briefly. And so we have the program here you've got the idea of how many the inclusions are that you're going to be including. Really important up here is what is the overall outcome. So this is for consulting one-on-one. For a key group program, we've got the things that you need to know, and for a signature group program, and that's for a much bigger one. But very often there's a few different ways that you can be approaching this, but the important thing is understanding what you've got and what does it cost you, because too many times people will then go and just pick a number out of the air of how much I'm going to charge for this. So no. So we're going to go exactly what the cost is to you to deliver this, and also the value that the client will put onto that. So the next thing then that you do, because we've got still in this month number 1, is we're going to decide the pricing. And like I said there at the beginning, a lot of times people, where they go wrong is they just focus on, okay, well, somebody else is charging 2,000 or 4,000 or 6,000 or 10 or 500, whatever, for this package that's going to be a combination of one-on-one and group. So I'm going to charge that without really knowing how much is it going to cost them? Like, what is your break even? Like, they're not taking that time to actually work that out. So what I use is I'll use a different share. I accidentally shared this one before when I was fumbling with all these numerous screens, is we actually have a spreadsheet that calculates it for you. So we work out, you know, your fixed costs, your variable costs. We look at how many months it's going to be, and it will actually work out for you how much it's going to cost you to deliver that, and how much is it going to cost per client. And it will let you know, okay, if you're going to charge this much money, you only need 11 clients to break even. So this is the kind of thing that you want to take the time to know. So because if you're working at a price and it turns out you're going to need 50 clients before you start making a profit, it's crazy. Having 11 clients, if it's something that's using a lot of your time, that's crazy as well. You want to be able to get it down that your costs are covered in maybe 1 or 2 clients when you're doing this first higher priced one. But you won't know until you do the calculations, okay? So that's just an example there for you. So if I go back to this one here, you'll be able to see that, okay, so we've worked out here about these are the things that are deliverable. So what we've done here is there's no use putting here about how do you know if you've succeeded if you put down how much money you've made, because there is nothing in there around selling. So this is where people go wrong. So what we're going to be doing is successful is how many of these bundles, your packages, have you got that you've been able to create. So it may be, I've just got one and that's all you need really. This is what I'm going to be selling. But you might decide to use my nested offers format. So you might want to have 2 or 3 so that you can be upselling or downselling. Depends what you want to do. So for this, we might go, you know, if I do 1, happy dance, 2, huge happy dance, you know, with crazy instruments. Number 3, I'm just going to sit down in shock because I got that done. So these are this is how you can measure. And then we look down at, well, how are you going to celebrate? So in this case, with the client, we worked out that if she got even just her first one done, if she just got the one done, she was going to go and have a massage and celebrate. So that's really important. So you can see here, every single thing is mapped out. Of course, there's going to be other things that you need to be still doing in your business, like looking after existing clients, balancing the books, still being visible. So you're not going to be kind of hidden down while you'll be doing all of this. There's still things you need to be doing, but this is your focus. This is where at least half of your time is going, getting this done. So that's to give you an example of what you would do in the first 30 days. I'll just come over here now so that I can see you. And I'll see if there's any questions here. Okay, so if you're here and you're watching on the recording, just type in any questions. And if you'd like a copy of the one-page template so that you can use it yourself, just let me know and I'll make sure that you get it, okay? Now, let me have a look. We're going to look at this next one now. And go back over here to the summary. And so you can see here, all right, so now we're going to sell. This is the exciting part. So we're going to sell to an existing client, but we are not going to try to go to the whole effort of creating a whole sales page. We're not going to go to the effort of getting all that technology set up. For this particular client, we worked out the best thing that she could do is to create a PDF sales letter. And I'll show you the one that I use myself, that I have made hundreds of thousands of dollars of sales just with this one PDF, okay? You don't need to have the full-on sales page. Crazy from somebody that shows you how to do all of that stuff, but I just want you to get it out there, okay? So for her, that's what we've done. And we're also, she's going to be selling over the phone. And now for a lot of people, that's really uncomfortable. But for somebody who's used to doing one-on-one, as long as you've got a process to do that, and I have, for everybody, I've got the training exactly how you structure the calls, how you make sure you only get the right people, that's all there. Then this turned out for this client, this was the easiest way to do that, because she turned out she only needed 10 people. She only needed 10 people. We were going to use the process for reaching out in a nice way without being smarmy, and to get people on the phone and have a process that at the end makes both people feel as if that was actually a really good opportunity to actually talk on the phone. So for her, that's what worked out well. We worked out for her that if she could get 5 sales, that was good. She was going to be making a profit. So for her, she only needed 5 really. 10 was the one that she, you know, if she could get that, she would be stoked. And 15 would be like, whoa, I can't believe I did it. So now, so this whole month is all there for putting the sales material together, reaching out and having those sales calls. And if she can get those first 5, she will have the cash then, and she's going to go and have a weekend away. So that's an example we've done here. So I'll just show you some of the things that we could do to make it faster. Okay, different share. Let me find, oh, okay, so here is an example, and I have the whole templates for these. This is an example of my program. So I have an Accelerator program. That's where I get to work with people at more of a VIP level. So all these ones that I've been, this is like a VIP, this is an Accelerator client example that I'm giving you here. So instead of doing the whole sales letter and stuff, we've just got a PDF. And so this is actually the one that I use for my program. And So you can see it's just a PDF. You could transfer all of this over into a sales letter, but I just started doing this, you know, a couple of years ago. It's actually changed the format a little bit, but because I thought, look, I just want to get it out there and I'll worry about the sales letter after. And it worked so well, I've never bothered putting the sales letter together. And so literally it has been responsible for hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sales. So that is this PDF. So, and I have a template so that clients can just use the same thing, like fill in the blank stuff. So you can see here, it's got, you know, everything that the people need to do. So that's an example. So I'll share a different one. So that makes it really easy. So she was just able to do that. And it meant that she got her sales letter done like just in one day because she just had to fill in the blanks. Now, let me have a look here. Over onto here. What else have I got here? What have I got here? Oh, I also, oh yeah, this is in the, so we're up to here to sell it, baby, sell it. So these are the different things that I've got, like how do you create your irresistible offers? So you need to be creating that first. So we work with her there to be able to, so what have we got in there? There's an actual, there's all the templates, the PDFs on how to create it, the worksheet and everything. And then what we're going to do is then we're going to get everything ready to sell it. So there would be, for example, that's the PDF. And we also have, I think I've got it here. Oh, yeah. So I've already got a sales page that you just fill in the blanks. So you can see it's just how do you do the headline, you know, just following a set format that works. So people can just fill in the blanks with that. So this just means it gets faster. You know, you can get this done in just a few weeks if you've got some good shortcuts there. So what else have we got here? And what have I got is this next one here. Okay, so that's the next part. All right, so I'll just stop that share. Right, so let me see over here if there's any questions. Oh, so that's just to give you an example of what she could do in the second month. And just work in the plan, work in the plan. So I've got all the steps there on how she outreaches to people, and she had me holding her accountable to be able to make that happen. If I can remember, she got 4 to start with, and then because she had this whole goal, she pushed hard to get number 5. Harder than she normally would have in just terms of pushing herself out of her comfort zone. But this is the first time that she'd used this process. So getting that 5, she was stoked because she didn't even think that she would get that. In her mind, she thought 1 would be good, but because she'd done the break-even analysis, she knew that if she had 5, she was going to be in profit, and that was going to, you know, provide her the money that she needed for the next few months. So let me have a look here. I've got one client that we did exactly the same thing, and we put, what do we go, 2, 4, 8, and she got 10. So, and then the next month she got 20, then 30. So yeah, just because we worked out these exact same process. So different people, different scenarios, different prices. Now let me have a look here at, okay, so if we go back here now to the very last part. All right. Now we have here the third part. So now that she's made the sales, she can start setting things up so that she can be focusing on bringing in new people. So she doesn't have to do as much outreach, doesn't have to do as much of that pushing herself out of a comfort zone to contact people personally, which I can tell you, I do that myself now. After, you know, sometimes it is just easier because a lot of times, you know that there are people that are going to be perfect for what you've got. They've been interested before, but for some reason haven't invested. By just contacting them and inviting them is just going, look, you know what, I've been thinking of you. I think this is perfect for you. No pressure. I just want you to be, I wanted to invite you personally. So I still do that. Okay, so the next one is in her last 3 months, we went, right, okay, we're going to prepare the assets for the list building. We haven't said here that she's going to be going out and doing all of the list building because she already knew that she was running out of time, that she knew what time she had because she had a certain amount of time that was available. So we're going to have everything set up. So she was going to work out what lead magnet to use and create it. She was going to write all of the autoresponders to set things up and everything that she was going to need to go on the website. And then she was going to get a techie to actually set it up for her. And she would know, number one, again, we weren't measuring things here on, you know, how much money she was going to make from it, because what her actions do not relate to sales. So in this case, if she just got her lead magnet done by the end of that that next 30-day period, she was going to be happy, because she knew that she was going to be busy servicing these past clients. Her time wasn't the clients she's just had, so her time wasn't as available. If she got all of the material and everything ready, then she was going to, that was a good goal. She'd be really happy with that. If she actually got all of that done and got all the techie stuff and had it all ready so that she could start promoting it and announcing it to people who she knew, then that was going to be a humongous happy dance. And the way that she celebrated was she was just going to go and have a picnic on the beach with candles with her partner, because she wanted to have that romance. And her partner, well, she was, you know, she'd been supporting her through this whole thing, and she wanted to be able to connect. So there you go. That was what she was doing. So the things that we can do to make that easier for her. Let me see what we used with her. Okay, new share is, where were we? Okay, that was the sales page. Okay, so we went through to the list building funnel. So I've got a process that we work backwards from, so we know that whatever we're offering in that lead magnet, that thing that's going to be the list builder, is actually going to appeal. You remember right back I said for the profitable avatar, which are the ones that are most likely to invest? We want to make sure that what we're offering attracts them. So we have that, and there's also the fill in the blanks funnel. So actually I haven't opened that one. I'll see if I can get that open. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, so that one there. Yeah, so I've got a link there. So we can go to the fill in the blanks funnel. And then we also have the email sequence, which is designed to sell. So we talk about the 4 different types of buyers, and then when I've got a swipe file. So it just makes it easier. This kind of fill in the blanks as much as you can. Okay, so here's like a fill in the blanks, you know, all the different steps that you need to have. Okay. So I'll stop that share. There you go, back to me. So hopefully that has given you some ideas on what you can do. Now, what I would really love to hear from you is, do you want a copy of the template, the one-page template? Just let me know and I'll make sure that you get a link to where you can go and get that. If you, and I'll also put it over into the Romance Your Tribe Facebook group. I'll go and do that today, so it makes it really easy for you. So if you haven't joined that yet, feel free to do that. And then, what have I got here? Oh, we just had numerous, I could just see videoception happening there. And I'd love to hear from you. What I've just shared with you now, can you create your 90-day plan? Because honestly, there's no reason why we can't make 2020. It's been a crappy year for a lot of people. It's been a good year for other people as well. It's been a crappy year though for most people, and things have been changing. You can take control of this, baby. You've got just over 3 months before the end of the year. You can end this on a high. So I've just given you an example of one client, of what she was able to get done in those 3 months, in those 12 weeks, 90 days. To be able to make it that she's gone from only being able to work one-on-one, and if it was now, it would even be harder, to being able to have higher price packages ready to sell, that she's actually made the sales and she's set up everything so that in the following 3 months, she can really focus on getting leads, so that she can get people into what she's already set up. So that's an example of what is possible. For you, it may be that you can get a lot more of that done. Or it may be, you know what, if I just get done in the first 1 to 2 months, I'm going to be totally stoked. That would be really good. Or what she got done in the final the 3rd month, if I can just get that done in a 3-month period, I will be stoked. It's different for every single person. And that's why it's important to work through exactly what is the number one thing that's going to make the biggest difference in your business? For her, it was creating packages. For you, it may be something different. You've got, and especially now, the people who I've got that are just starting to enroll in the Accelerator program, they're people that have, there's ones that's just got to totally redo their business model because it's not going to recover very quickly for the next 2 years. So we're actually looking at a completely new model and we'll get it done. Another one is going from, okay, I am now ready to, because they've gone from having children at home all the time to, right, this is going to be my new reality. I need to redesign my business. So that's just examples of things that are changing now. So you may be in similar situations or different. Every person's different. So you need to be really aware of what's going to work for you, your constraints, how much time you do have available. What's the number one thing? So next week, I'm going to run another class. It will be a longer masterclass that I'm going to be doing through Zoom. And we're actually going to go through a process for you to be able to work out what your number one is. So if you'd like to get a link to be able to come along to that, just let me know as well, because that's going to help you to work out like where you should be focusing, what's possible and where you should be focusing yourself. Okay, I really do hope this was helpful for you. If so, please share it with a friend. Please let me know. If there is something that you are unclear on, please just leave a message down below or send me a private message, something that you're not clear on, let me know that. If you'd like to know more about how I can work with you with all the sort of resources that I've given as an example and work closely, just send me a private message as well. I'll be opening up in the next 2 weeks. At the end of the month, I'll be opening up for, well, I was going to say for 10 clients, it's 9 at the moment, possibly 8 that we've got left, to be able to work closely for the next 3 months. If you'd like to know more about that, just send me a message. But importantly, go out there and just do it, baby. Just make this next 3 months yours, okay? All right, bye.